nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are all the mics on that we need to have on, do you think, Jason?
I think so.
Okay. If we could have roll call, Mr. Tyler?
John Boersma.
Here.
Pat Connolly.
Here.
Mike Moffett absent. Mike Bovat.
Here.
Tyler McLeod present. Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Nicole Bennett. And Gabe and Beth Hernandez are also here.
Thank you. We'll move to item 4, new business. Item A, award of Founders Park construction contract.
Yes, sir. So we received 4 bids for the Founders Park contract. The bids and their amounts were from Gary Up Construction in the amount of $947,500. Grimmer Construction for $894,987. Integral Construction for $593,200. And then Metropolitan Inc. in the amount of $821,000. In your packet is a recommendation letter. Nicole and Tagi Arshami from the Arsh Group, we've reviewed and discussed the bids pretty extensively the past few days. And we're recommending for the board to award the bid to Integral Construction, as they were found to be the most responsible and responsive bid for this project. A few reasons that were outlined in the letter is their capacity to complete the project in a timely manner, their previous engagement with our department as they completed the Prairie West Playground project. They have a firm understanding of grant-funded projects, and the proposed cost, as you see, is significantly lower than the other 3 bids. A few other local projects they've done include Saratoga and Reeder Parks in Cherville, and several other park-related projects in the area. So we feel comfortable moving forward with them.
And overall, could you kind of just maybe give us a little insight or comment? I know Johnny has some concerns.
Yeah,
maybe
not really concerned, just a question about like, I do bids for my job too, and sometimes when a bid comes in that much lower than the rest, we do kind of ask them like, did you get them a chance to ask them like why they came in so much lower, or why would the other ones be so much higher? Because that's what we do, and I'm just curious if that was done.
Mm-hmm. So we could just, they have it seems like they have an expertise in park-related projects. That could be a reason why. But if you look at the bid comparison, you can kind of go into detail on each line item. But the best we could determine for that is just their expertise and their experience with park-related projects.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Nicole?
If you take a look at, and I completely agree with Tyler's statements to you in the financial statements and supplements that he had provided to you that were received from Integral as part of, basically further inquiring into this and trying to determine exactly that, because it was such a substantial difference between the others. What we were able to determine is approximately, or more than 50% of the work that they do is parks. And in the last couple of pages in their financial pack, you can see the projects that they worked on in the last year and ones that they have pending as of the 12/31 of 2020. And of those projects, as you can see, there's not only different parks and contacts with other municipalities here in Indiana, but also a significant amount of contracts with the park districts in and around the different suburbs of Chicago. Specifically, from what they were able to present, they've done over $7 million in the last couple of years in Naperville alone. So in consideration of that, in understanding the forest preserves, the path, all of the different things that go into so many of those projects. Obviously, their understanding of the grant projects, their understanding of those, in this situation, whether it's a DNR or a CDBG, equivalent type of funding that would be used in the project, that really was our conclusion, I guess, in that respect, that not so much that the other bidders don't necessarily, I'm not in any way suggesting they don't have the same comparison of knowledge, but clearly by the history and what's shown with Integral, that they have the knowledge of what is obviously going into these parks, what is the experience based on the extensive work that they've done. So whether or not their bid was that much lower, as more eager, aggressive, wanting, the park work, whatever it may be, or perhaps more in line with perhaps the line items of knowing what these projects actually do cost. That we're only speculating, quite frankly.
Right.
But they were responsive as to each of the, specified line items, had specific knowledge of not only the ordering and the specific companies, but the installation of the specific park equipment, the specific surfaces for the playgrounds, things of that nature that were much more specific to park work. So that was, though, definitely, Johnny, a question that we had of to be $250,000 less than the others.
Right.
It does, cause question, but obviously getting the financials and seeing the other work, the work that they've done in Munster, the work that they've done in Cherville, the work that they've done in Dyer and communities, here, let alone what's showing, in Illinois as well. So it's a younger company. Whether or not that's the circumstances of honing in on a specific area versus stretching out much wider, that's all, obviously additional items. It's our understanding that the work that they did in Prairie West, obviously it's one of the most popular parks in town, and it's a beautiful park and beautiful work that's been done there. So I think that in and of itself speaks a lot to the town.
Well, I appreciate that answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it bodes well when you look at the cost analysis and the bid comparison, just for like the site work and, everything seems to be pretty thorough. And the insight is that maybe with their expertise, it's a great advantage for the town and for the park board. It'll save us quite a bit of money. So I think those are all positive things. Any other comments?
No, sir.
Patrick, or?
Well, and if I could just add one more thing, too, from the perspective of the bids themselves, and as the funding goes for this project. As you all recall, and in accordance with the intergovernmental agreement that you signed at your last meeting, this is obviously in partnership with the council. With the the approximation or the work estimate that was based upon some numbers from 2019 and then 2020, obviously, even at Integral's bid, this is a little bit higher than what was kind of the idea at that time, but that was obviously based on last year's numbers. The funding then for the project in that respect, if you recall, it's the $250,000 grant from the DNR that then is a match that obviously is a commitment from the park board for the impact fees for another $250,000. So with that funding right there, that's obviously the commitment for grant funds that the park board has put forth. Then there's the commitment from the council for the I believe it's $85,900 and some change dollars in the CDBG funds that would also be, applied to this. So obviously, adding that in at looking at that current bid, it's a shortage based on the bid of around about $7,300 or $7,400. So
Right.
in that respect, and there's always, some things in there that will most likely be tweaked or be able to, hopefully will be determined that maybe there's some prices or some costs there that even might turn out to be a little bit less. But so in that respect, it is still in the same wheelhouse of what the anticipated funding was from the park board. By the intergovernmental agreement that you had approved and executed at the last meeting, that government agreement was approved last night from the council, or by the council. So with that, after the award of the contract for this project that obviously commits both of those funding sources. Through that intergovernmental agreement, then the town council, obviously with the park board being the one that has the larger commitment here, as being the body that will then move forward in managing this project, future plans, contract negotiations, contract execution, any potential change orders, approval of any future actions. So once we kind of get through these procedural parts, then I'll be able to proceed forward with the specifics on the project with the contractor themselves, and by your direction then move forward in proceeding with the plans and the work orders at that point.
We're still with the timeline too, right?
Absolutely, yep.
So, yeah.
And that's obviously the situation because of those CDBG funds in the intention to begin immediately in April.
Thank you for expounding on that, Ms. Nicole. Tyler, appreciate your efforts there and researching, looking a little more in depth into that. Johnny, your comments, and I think that we're pretty comfortable to maybe move forward. We're having a consideration of award for the Founders Park construction contract. Consider of Integral coming in at the lowest bid of $593,200.
I'll make a motion to award Founders Park to Integral for $593,200.
I'll second that motion.
It's a motion by John Boersma, second by Pat Connolly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I would also recommend a motion to give Tyler the authority to negotiate and execute a contract with Integral on your behalf to be ratified then at a later date. Again, keeping in line with the same time frame, but to authorize him to act in that capacity to be able to proceed forward.
Okay, I'd like to consider an agreement and give authority to Tyler to have authority with Integral Construction on moving forward for the project.
So moved.
I second.
It's a motion by John Boersma, second by Pat Connolly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, new business, item B, skate park public workshop.
Yeah, so I think that's what everybody's probably here for. I think Jeff Zielinski from Driftwood Collective is going to start us off here.
Welcome back, Jeff.
Well, thank you all for having me. Do you mind if I remove the mask while approaching the bench?
Not at all.
Yeah, we're social distance, we're good, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, thank you guys so much for having me back again. Do you mind if I approach the audience here really quick?
Sure.
Sure.
So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here today. My name is Jeff Zielinski. I'm with the Driftwood Collective. We're a 501c3 organization, and we have a commitment to providing skate park-related events and activities at our local skate parks. Basically, just want to make sure that the skateboarding, biking, scooter world is a success kind of here in our region. So we started this nonprofit about 5 years ago. And, I see a lot of familiar faces in here. Thank you so much for coming down. A lot of new faces as well. We're excited to see a new skate park coming up in St. John. And I think it's only appropriate that those that have worked hard over here and over here, just everybody that's a part of this council and a part of this team, I would just love to kind of give them a round of applause and just show some of our appreciation. I really appreciate everybody here today, and thank you so very much. This skate park means so very much to so many people, and I don't think it can be understated. This is a place where people can make friends, they can live, they can grow, and they can find everything that, really learn those life lessons that you kind of only get when it's team sports or physical activity or skateboarding or biking. There's a lot of passionate people in this room, and I just want to thank you so much for being here. You all completed some survey data, and I'm going to now point to the survey data here on both of these screens so that everybody can see what it is that you were able to, how this survey data is actually digested and used by Spone Ranch, the park provider that's going to be providing this great skate park for the town of St. John. So most of the survey respondents that we did get were focused on St. John. So that is a very successful survey. We'll move on to the next slide. Of the survey respondents, we had a large percentage, about 41% were skateboarding, 33% were biking, and 18% were scooters, and about 4% of inline skaters. So we do have a good mix, and that seems to reflect most of the audience of our skate park users. A little bit less on the scooter side of things, but you know, we'll get their input here tonight if you guys had joined us. We'll move on to the next slide. Most of what everyone was looking for was some moderately challenging obstacles. So this is a big deal when it comes to the skate park of how it's designed. Are we looking to make things small, big, tall? Moderate is kind of where everybody felt they wanted a good, sizable skate park that they could start at, they could learn at, and they could grow at. So that was one of the most important things that we found. We can move on to the next slide. And the years of experience, this is actually very important, and I'm very excited to see this at the skate park. We have a large amount of new users, 2 to 4 years is one of our larger groups, and then even another large group is 8+ years of skateboarding. What does that mean for the people that join us at the skate park in St. John? That's going to be that to move forward with them. But a lot of our older folks, people kind of like myself, who are going to be skateboarding out there, kind of the mentors of the world in the skate park scene. So. Skateboarding, biking, rollerblading, scooter riding, it's very different. There's not a coach. A lot of us older guys are kind of those default coaches for these younger guys. So this was very exciting to see, and we're seeing more and more of that. The age of our average skate park user, 34% of them were in the 13 to 17 years of age range. We had a good number in the 7 to 12 years of age, and 18 to 29 and 30 plus. So we got people across the board. There's a small group in the 0 to 6, and we're happy to have them at the skate park. We'll move on to the next slide. What is everybody looking for? We're starting to get into the nuts and bolts of the obstacles that we'll be seeing. One of the big high-level thoughts you guys had was you wanted a balance between transition-based obstacles and street-based obstacles. So when it came to your quarter pipes, or the things that people like to think of as vertical transitions or vert pipes or vert ramps, you wanted some of those, but then you also wanted some of the street obstacles, the rails. So if you're some of the younger guys and you don't know what transition is, think about the vert pipes, but smaller. All right, we'll move on. And thank you, by the way, for manning the slides over there. How important is a bowl in the skate park? That almost had about a 4-star rating, and everyone was looking for a combination style bowl. So not the average clover or kidney or peanut shape you see in the bottom left-hand corner of that slide. Everyone was looking for a combination, which is more of a free-form style, gives a little bit of a unique flair to any sort of bowl that you might see at your skate park. We'll move on. And what are some of the highest ramps that we wanted to see? People were generally looking for, 8 feet or under. No one wanted to see too much over 8 feet, except for a few people that really wanted to go big. But because this is a community park, the transitions have been kept at an approachable place for everybody involved. So there's some really good answers here, and it shows a wide diversity of people and what they're looking for. So you're going to see some moderately sized transitions at this skate park.
Just for the record, I was in that 10%, one in the 12-foot.
Oh, I see. I you know what? We'll build a special one just for you right on the side. All right, so this is where some of the biggest nuts and bolts come into building this skate park. If you look at your top graph up top, that's going to be everything that everyone said they wanted. It said pick 3, your 3 favorite obstacles you want to see at this skate park. And then below it are the obstacles that you said, we'll get rid of those obstacles to make room for the ones that I would like. So some of the biggest things that we saw was a bowl or a mini ramp. You'll see that reflected at the purple left-hand side or the green right-hand side of that top graph. Those were 2 of our biggest items. That was a must-have for everybody. Some realistic street obstacles and a pump track came in close second. And then third was stair sets. Not too far after that was long rails. What's great about this is now when we decide we have to cut items out, it paints another unique picture of what we would like to get rid of. Kind of number 1, make sure we don't have it if it's going to conflict with something that we do want, is a flat ground skate area. Let's get rid of just too much flat ground, make room for some obstacles. Super tall transitions, I'm so sorry, but they were voted out, the super tall transitions, to make room for some other obstacles. Surprisingly, the pump track as well, so we're very divided on the pump track, but I think there's a lot of people that want it, and then some that said, well, if it's conflicting with some other things, I could maybe go without. So that was another one that found its way up there. So that one is a toss-up type obstacle. I think there's a lot of people that really wanted it, though. And then the long rails, that was also kind of another one there. So that gave the park designers a whole lot to work with. So everybody who filled out this form data, thank you so very much, because this is greatly impactful for those that are developing the skate park. And without your input, you're going to get whatever they feel like building that day, because no one can be quite sure what each community wants. So this is very important stuff. Thank you all for completing the survey data. We'll go to the next slide here. So there are stair sets. This is another important obstacle. How big to make these stair sets? What's a manageable size? About 4 to 5 stairs. Some people, the 6 stairs as well, is generally what they were looking for. So that's a good medium range set. And then we had a number of people looking for a smaller set as well, kind of a learner set. So that's kind of what that data told us. And then we'll continue on. The ledges. One of the most important ledges that blew all the other ledges out of the water was a bump to ledge. So that's going to be a ramp leading up to the ledge so that everyone has a little bit of an easier time getting on there and learning those new grinds. We'll move on to the next one. So that is it for the survey presentation. There was some more data, but I wanted to give everybody here just at least a snapshot of what you filled out and how that actually helps us build this skate park. So I want to thank each and every one of you for doing that. I want to introduce just our next person. He's a hometown resident here over at St. John. Billy Dzinski, do you mind if I invite you up here? So Billy just wanted to say some few words. Billy's one of the best skaters that at least I consider in the region, and he's a hometown resident here of St. John, and just wanted to say a few words.
Hey guys, so this thing, all right. So my name's Billy. I've been skating for about at least half my life. I'm 21 now. I've been living in St. John for the majority of my life, I think since I was like 7 years old. So having a skate park means a lot to me, especially learning how to skate here was really, really hard at first when you don't have anywhere to go except for the parking lot or, to the park or something. So I just want to make sure that we can make a park that everyone can learn stuff on, from beginners to people who have been doing it as long as me. And I just want to thank everyone that did come to make sure that we get the best possible outcome. So thank you guys for giving us the opportunity.
I mean,
appreciate it.
you could have brought your skateboard.
I
showed
have
us.
it in the car if you need it.
Bill, I got a question.
Yeah.
As a young person, then, how many hours would you think that you skate a day or just whatever, just kind of?
I couldn't even tell you guys the last time I didn't skate. That's also a lot easier for me. I have some more access than some of the younger kids around here. So when it rains or something, stuff that happens in the Midwest, I have a lot more options. So I would say I skate at least 3 hours a day just on average, and on weekends probably longer than that. So.
No, and you, as you were growing up, you took it up about what age? 10, 11, you say?
I want to say I started when I was around 10 or 11, yeah.
And back then, how many days would you skateboard?
Every single day.
Wow.
And that's why I really think it's important that we have a place where little kids can come and feel safe and also learn things, because the hardest part about skating is when you're trying to learn it, it's so much easier to learn how to do tricks when you have a bunch of people that want to do the same thing as you, opposed to someone like me who had to learn just in my driveway by myself. So it's definitely something that also kids will spend a lot of time at. I remember when I did start to get to that age where I was able to go to the skate park by myself, which my mom would allow me to do, at the ones at Cherville and Dyer. It was super cool to have a bunch of friends and just be able to focus on one thing instead of out there doing dumb stuff that kids get into sometimes. So
Thank you for that.
yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think next up, we want to really get into why we're all really here and to see the people that are actually building this skate park and actually making it happen. Adam, can I bring you up to the stand? And thank you so much, Adam.
Hey.
Well, first off, I want to say thanks
That's
to
all right.
Jeff, thanks to the board for really kind of driving this idea. We work really well together, and I've come out to visit the site and got some input on the site. Obviously, we're very fortunate to have Jeff and Driftwood with all of the data, and so what we've basically come up with is a conceptual design based off of that data. And I'm sure everybody here is super eager to see what it looks like, I'm sure, right? So we're going to wait another about 15 minutes. Let's do it. So we have been working behind the scenes based on all the data, and we've put together a conceptual design that we think is conducive to the site, to the wants and the needs of the community, fits within the budget requirements, and I also have some boards over here that we can get into a little bit later. But I basically just kind of want to walk through it all with you guys and see what you think of it. Okay, we'll kind of go through that. I'm going to take one of my boards because it's a little easier to look at here. So first off, Jeff, with the data that we've collected, we were able to pull that data in real time. I need to look at this, but everyone else can see it on their screens. We're able to pull that data in real time and start to come up with a concept and tweak it as more data came in. So first and foremost, we want to talk about the site. It's the gates of St. John off of Pine Avenue. I'm hopeful that most people kind of understand that side of town, that area. It's developing, and this is a perfect location for a park this size. Not to mention the fact that there is a wide open, flat area to build a new skate park on. This particular skate park is roughly 300 feet long and runs almost the length of an entire soccer field. It is positioned in our renderings to the south end of that park. Obviously not under the power lines, but close enough to them or far enough away from the houses as we can possibly make it. Okay?
Can you speak into the microphone, please? People are having a hard time hearing you.
Sorry about that. So first and foremost, we're going to walk through the park. So obviously it's adjacent to an existing parking lot. There's an access path that leads you into the skate park. First, you're going to see a spectator area. We have shown a spectator area with a sail on top. Those are actually amenities that we can talk about at a later date or incorporate into the design as needed. But as you walk into the skate park, you're immediately in kind of the beginner area. And that's going to have like a smaller quarter pipe, lower ledges, maybe a flat bar that's easier to, thank you very much. Thank you. It's going to have a flat bar and a ledge area, and it's more, let's say, more beginner to intermediate, so not as aggressive of a rider. Then we move into, actually, I wonder if I should come over here. Sit here. So again, we're going to come into the spectator area. We're going to be into the beginner area here. I'm curious if anybody picked up on these ledges or stair sets at all. Does anybody recognize those from maybe a local area around here? Lake Hills Amphitheater. Anybody skate that amphitheater? Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So when we were out here a couple months ago, Tyler and Wayne and we stopped by and took a look at that. I took some pictures and sent those back to our design team in Los Angeles, and obviously we recreated something very similar to that. And that's a nod to the local skate spots. So moving in, we have the beginner street area. Then you kind of continue on through. You get into a more of an advanced or an intermediate street area. You're going to have 2 banks of bump, and then we're going to have these architectural details. They're called bollards. I call them target balls. So everybody here has been to Target. You've seen those red balls outside. Well, those are actually pretty fun to skate. There you go. Thank you, Jason, with the arrow. Yeah, so we have these bollards set around just for some architectural details, some interest, and they're definitely skatable. All right, cruising through, we've got more of an advanced street course. We've got 2 hubbas up top of a more of an elevated section here. That will drop you back into like a half pipe section. And this half pipe section actually varies in heights and depth. So you're going to get different heights of transition. Probably looking at somewhere between 5 and 6 foot in the deeper area, and then up here more around 4 foot. We have positioned a pole jam out of that bump. We've got this up top section right here, kind of a pavilion amphitheater section right here too, and that you can use to maybe pop off ollies or use as a gap or something like that. Talk about this bowl really quick. 6 foot, 8 foot bowl. So there's your larger transition that everybody's kind of looking for. This is a bowl that's similar to one that I've skated in Anaheim, California. It's a super, super fun bowl. But obviously we have the ability to maneuver, change things, and tweak things around if it's not exactly what people are looking for. All these stair sets, amphitheater seating, are all skatable. So you have different heights. You can use one ledge and pop down. You can pop down 2 sets. You can pop down 3. And those are basically like double sets. So essentially, if those are 3 stairs, you're probably looking at more like a 6 stair set. So the streets, pardon me. Yeah, 4 foot mini ramp, half pipe section. Actually, I might have been mistaken or misspoken. It's actually more like a 4 foot section with a little bit of an extension on the top up there. All right. Cruising through, so you'll notice that it transitions over a pump bump into a pump track area. And this is something that's becoming more and more popular. Everybody's asking for pump tracks. Pump tracks are essentially like, we talk about skate parks that other non-motorized vehicles can use, or bicycles, scooters, skates and such. This is kind of like a BMX track that everybody else can use too. It's all concrete, it's all hand troweled, smooth finish concrete, and it's also bermed into the earth so that it gives that like natural feel as you're rolling through and rolling around. This particular pump track is unique because it's got multiple directions in and out of it. Obviously, you're going to want one rider or multiple riders riding in the same direction, but when there's nobody riding, you have the option to ride in either direction, and you have an exit, which is critical. An exit plan. So if you're coming out of this pump track with speed, hit that bump, and you want an exit, you have this oververt quarter pipe wall to kind of catch you and bring you back out. Okay? Something else that's really cool about this particular design is that we have 2 spectator areas. So essentially, we almost have 2 parks. I can envision families maybe pumping around the pump track, or groups of people gathered up in the other spectator area. Also, this amphitheater seating could double as some seating area too, but it's also designed to be skated. So I've got some other slides too that I can share with you, but I wanted to kind of give you an overview of what our initial design concept is. And the reason why we're here tonight, obviously, is to unveil it and to reveal it to the board and to the public, but also to collect your input on it. So we're open to your thoughts on it. And what I have are some design input surveys that I'd love to get you to fill out or write. I'm available to speak to talk to. We can go through every bit of it. I listen to everything everybody has to say. There's no hard feelings on anything. Skateboard parks are impossible to design for everybody to be happy with. So what we have to do is find something that's functional and also stays within budget, and that the most of the community enjoys as much as possible.
Excuse me, I got a question.
Yes.
Matthew, thanks for joining us.
Howdy.
What is the footage around the bowl, that concrete, approximately?
That's a good question. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't have all the specifications, but most likely, I'm going to guesstimate, that's probably about 1,500 square feet.
My only question is, from watching skate parks and videos and stuff, isn't it, maybe some of you skaters can answer this, but a drop-in? So with them stairs being there, is it more desirable to skate and then drop in, or?
Yeah, so you're talking about like, first of all, let's talk about the bowl. the style of bowl is like combination / amoeba. We call it an amoeba bowl. It's also a combi bowl. You've got combinations of different bowls and multiple hips. The way, and it's a closed bowl, meaning that there is technically no way to roll in without dropping in somehow. So this type of bowl requires somebody to learn how to drop in, which is kind of what we want. Yes, there will be folks or riders that actually jump down and start rolling around. That's oftentimes how you start riding a bowl, learning how the transitions work. But we really want to teach people how to learn to roll in. Now you're talking about drop in. You're talking about rolling in. Rolling in would be just rolling on a skateboard and then dropping right into it.
Right.
That's a little bit more advanced.
Okay.
Not too many
I
people
figured.
can do that. More advanced bull riders can definitely do that. And what the advantage to that is that you're immediately up to speed. Because if you drop in, you have to pump a couple times to get complete up to speed to get up onto that coping. If you roll in, you're already there. So,
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, I do.
Looks good.
I've been wanting
Yeah,
a
thank-
skate park for the time I came to this town. I thought it was a good idea, so.
I should actually go back a little bit, and I apologize. I was so excited I jumped right into it. But I want to talk a little bit about why we're here. First of all, I am a resident of the Chicagoland area. I'm only about an hour and 20 minutes from here. I will be skating this park, so I have a vested interest. I'm also engaged in the community. I skate Hammond, Hessville frequently. I know Jeff very well, and I travel all over the region to skateboard parks. We obviously built the Hessville Park. We designed and built the Hessville Park or Hammond Park. We built the Highland Park, and it makes sense that we do something equally as unique for the community here in St. John. So that's kind of the thought process behind how we designed this park. It's a completely unique design. It's not something that we took out of our design library and plugged in and said, here you go, there's a park. Also wanted you to know that, again, a lot of work has been going on behind the scenes to present this to you as it is. We definitely have the opportunity to make some changes, to do some minor tweaks. The overall footprint most likely will not change, but some items within that footprint are up for discussion. Does anybody have any questions? Because we are going to open it up to more of a Q&A type of informal, come on up and we can talk about certain things. But does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask on the record, maybe?
I kind of have a bit, if that's okay.
Go for it.
All right. So,
Sorry, but could you please speak into the microphone so
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
can
yeah.
hear you? Thank you.
okay, so, sorry. This is just weird.
Go for it, dude. Go for it.
All right, so the first thing I just want to say is that it looks really good. The whole blueprint, the general layout of it, I think looks really good. There's only a few questions I really have, and I guess they could go into maybe how we could make the park a little better. But so the biggest thing that I see is this stair set over here. It looks like it's not the same as the 3-block, I guess you'd call it. So ideally, you'd want that stair set to be skatable and maybe have another rail or some hubbas on the side of that. And then also the bowl would kind of interfere with how you would skate the stair set. There's not much run up or, there's not, the way that you would usually skate a stair set, you need speed coming up to it and you want to be able to go straight on towards the stair set without curving in or, hitting any corners or whatever. So I would say that is just something I'd like to talk about when we start having a Q&A, because I just feel like it would make more sense if the stair set is skatable and able to learn tricks on instead of having to go through all the turns or whatever. And then another question I actually have is that so I don't think I do like the idea of these ledges going down that way, but I feel as if this big 3 block, the amphitheater one with the curves, I feel like it makes more sense to maybe turn that into a bank somehow. Just because I feel like it would help people flow into this section from the top. You can get more speed, and I think that it would help a lot of skaters learn how to go into a ramp. And there's a lot of open space there. There's nothing really to worry about after you go down that bank. But other than that, right now, I think we could open up a discussion about it. That's my main things that I just wanted to point out.
Good stuff.
Okay, cool.
Anybody else?
I just got a question. You talk about with LA, I was just at Venice Beach like 2 years ago. And what I found is a lot of people like to hang out by that big bowl. Now, if you look where the spectator areas are, that's kind of away from that. Is there any way, kind of like not a girder system, but like a rail system that would keep people from on the cement itself, but put something there where a spectator could stand there and watch people in that big bowl, due to the fact that they're going to be doing tricks, and in my opinion, that's where more spectators are going to congregate rather than hanging out on the steps or underneath the umbrella type.
Yeah, that's a great point. I've been to Venice Park, skated it a few times, and I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
just on the
It's
ba-
actually designed specifically to be kind of a spectator spot and keep the spectators out of the skating
Correct.
area.
Correct, because if we're not using that by the grass on that backside, away from the stairs,
Yeah,
maybe just put some kind of like a guardrail system where people could actually stand there and see what's going on.
that's a possibility, and it's something that we can definitely look at. We want to be careful because if we start adding more concrete, that equates to more money or less skate park. So
Right.
In other spaces, but absolutely great point. As you were saying that, I was thinking of one thing. Yeah, absolutely. We typically put a spectator area into the entrance because that's invites people in. And it gives the non-skaters a space to sit away from the skate park. But possibly adding maybe a secondary access path up in here to get people up there. There's one thing about skate parks is that you don't want foot traffic on skate parks. You don't want, and don't take this the wrong way, but curious parents walking around a skate park when there's lots of activity because you will end up with an issue that way. So yeah, directing them around the skate park but not through the skate park could be something that we can definitely
Yes.
look at.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Overall, though, I think it's gorgeous. It really is.
Like I said, that's the only thing I see that's different, but I think it's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, you said you're a big skater too, right?
I do.
Your age is what?
I'm 47. I'll be 48 next month.
That's great.
I skate as much as possible.
So me and you can hit that 12-foot together
Yeah,
sometime.
I mean, I can ride it, right? I'm not gonna do like air like this dude right here, or like. And these
Yeah, I saw a couple of videos with Jeff. It was impressive.
I usually say that yeah, Jeff is. I usually say that I'm more of a transition skater these days, and for me that's the board stays under my feet. I can carve and grind and things like that without having to like flip board. So I don't jump off stairs as much, and I don't flip my board as much as I used to.
You don't heal as fast.
I mean, yeah, I don't need to, right?
So the deep end of that bowl is 8 feet.
That's 8-foot bowl, correct. Yep. It's actually very similar to a park we built in Manzanita. It's called Manzanita Park in Anaheim. So if you're interested, you can look that one up.
And then the upper part of the bowl is, what's the max height?
It's 6 and 5 probably, something like that. Yeah. It's kind of during the initial conceptual rendering process, it's a little bit vague on specs. There are specs in a computer somewhere, but this is, those can vary sometimes.
So I'd say if you're skating, if you want like more of your 4-foot section, if you want more of your 4-foot section like an old man like me, I'm gonna be up in here and I'm not gonna hit this bowl. I mean, this is too deep for my bones. But like for a starter kid who wants to get going, I mean that's a good start.
Absolutely.
I have to agree with him on getting a handrail or a hubba and some run up on this section here. If you could.
That's all I got.
And what is this? That's just a quarter?
Oh, yeah, so yeah, you'll have to look at that from the other direction, but it's a quarter to basically, so what you want in a park, you want back and forth flow, right? You want to be able to hit this or that, and then turn around and come back and hit it the other direction. So that's what that's doing, is giving you a linear back and forth, basically a turnaround point.
Okay.
And also some sort of, it's architectural, gives you some.
And this is a hip?
That would be a bump, basically, I guess.
You can hit that target ball.
Correct. You can pop over it, or
That's different language.
exactly, and then a flat bar down rail type of deal right there too. So.
Can you tell us about like the construction materials and the quality of cement that you use? I mean, we get weather out here in Indiana. It's not like California, these beautiful weather days.
Sure.
And a lot of the parks that you have built around here are relatively new, so we haven't had a chance to see how those have aged over time.
So the question was our building materials, our processes, and the quality of concrete mix that we use. I can't go into the specifics of our concrete mix because that's typically, it's a special recipes based on what different builders. But I will say that we've built probably a couple dozen parks in the Chicagoland area, or Midwest, local Midwest area, and have had basically no issues. Now, obviously, a park like this is going to require very minor maintenance over a long period of time. Nothing like a modular system would require. But what we do is when we pour our concrete, it's all hand troweled. We actually pour everything in one large sheet. Our bowl will be shotcrete and poured all at once. The bottom part won't be. That's different. But every time we do a pour, it's as much concrete as possible, and then we come back and cut the lines in. And essentially, we tell the concrete, hey, if you're going to crack, we want you to crack in this direction, and then we fill all those joints with a caulk. And essentially what you get is a very tight joint, 1/8 inch, very easy for a skateboard wheel to ride over. But yeah, our crews are like, they all skate, they all bike ride, they all know what they're doing, and they do a lot of, they work really, really hard to make sure that the quality of the product is meets or exceeds our standards. Thank you. Another question? We can also do questions and answers like informally, like maybe after. I don't know. Do you want to continue? This format?
If you still have input from the workshop session here and what you have spoke about, any of the skaters, people that are interested in the concept or wanting to have input like the two gentlemen just did, anybody that wants to comment or say something about it?
Go for it.
I'm going to walk over here so it's a little bit easier. So, first, I just want to say I'm very excited to see something like this come to St. John. I grew up in this area. I'm 26 years old. I've been skating for 16 years. So it's a very big part of my life. I know a lot of these skaters. I've known them for a very long time. Great skaters, great people. So it's really awesome to see something like this come to our area and everything. And I really think you guys did a great job with the overall layout of the whole thing. It's really well built to accommodate many skaters kind of flowing through the park at one time. And there's street, there's transition. I think any type of skater could really have fun at this park. I want to agree with Billy what he's saying. A straight on run up for the stair set, maybe a hubba or a rail down it would be really nice. To work that out would be really cool to see. So right here, I was curious, is this two banks kind of coming down onto those ledges right there, like smaller banks on each ledge?
No,
right
well,
here?
so can we pull up that split screen for a second? Maybe get a different angle. It's hard to say, but
Yeah, on that side. So
yeah. So it's a transition that the steps die into, essentially.
Okay, very cool.
Let's see here. Yeah.
I don't have. Yeah. So right there, it does look
Yes,
like it is a
exactly,
bank.
exactly.
Okay, awesome. So very cool. Yeah, I just the idea of a pump track too. That's completely unique to this area.
Yeah.
So So I just want to point out, like, having a unique feature like that could draw skaters from all over the place. Skaters typically travel really far to skate unique parks and to see different types of skatable objects. So I think that's an awesome idea. It could draw in traffic from even like neighboring states and stuff from far away. One thing I kind of wanted to just kind of touch on, end on. So we didn't really talk about, so shade, which I know you said this could be discussed at a later date. Shade and lighting. So no skate parks in this area have lights to skate, you know, past when the sun goes down. Which, you know, when it's, you know, fall time and it gets dark before 5 o'clock, I get off work at like 5 o'clock and it's dark and I have nowhere to skate outside. It would be really awesome to see somewhere lit up to where we could actually skate at night. And, you know, somewhere well lit would keep it kind of safer with, like, you know, good visibility and everything. So I was just curious if that was a possibility to have lighting at this park. Or if that'll be discussed at a later date, or.
I mean, anything's a possibility. It
Okay.
just has to fit into the budget and,
Okay.
and meet the requirements of the municipality. So I would let them answer that.
Maybe I can expand on that. Does that normally,
Thank you.
I believe that normally comes through different pools of funding, correct? To where generally amenities wouldn't be part of a skateboard park build?
Yeah.
It has been commented on, and it's something that has been, you know, discussed and thought about, but obviously everything goes into, you know, the cost. Everything is cost. And that doesn't mean that perhaps that's something that couldn't be done at a later date, but this is just the initial, yeah.
You know, I do have a question. So
Yeah.
we did notice.
You'll get yelled at.
Yeah, I'd like to recognize Ms. Beth Hernandez, the clerk treasurer. Beth, yes.
I'm the money person, so we want to make sure we stick within the budget. When you guys talk about lighting and not having a park where you can skate at night, would you prefer to see something cut, I guess that would be the question, out of the skate park immediately to allow for lighting, or would you rather see lighting come when it's affordable later? See, I mean, that's kind of where we get stuck, because if you can't afford it all, like, and then that gets into what would you cut to allow for lighting, I guess.
The only thing is.
So you'd rather,
We'll fill the bowl in. No bowl, then for the lights.
That usually every town that has had a park built around here within like the last 2 or 3 years, they always say like, okay, we'll get lighting, and then they just never really follow up on it, and they totally just kind of shrug it off.
We're different, young man.
What?
We're different.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, one thing I could say that you can cut on is like maybe the size of the bowl, because I know a lot of people that design Hestville, they fought really hard to get a bowl, and now that we have a bowl in the area already, I don't know if having one that big would be necessary, considering you could just drive 15 minutes down the road to Hestville and get a bowl, you know? So if lights were like a possibility, I would say maybe take back from the concrete of how big the bowl would be, maybe put that towards a lighting fund or something. That way, it brings something completely new to the area.
Because you guys would be one of the first people around here to do anything like that.
Yeah, and I've been skating for quite a while as well, probably like 10 years, along with Billy and Pat over there, so.
Wait, I just want to clarify what you said real quick. You said no, the height is track, correct, or no?
What's that?
What exactly did you say about the bowl? Like you said,
I just said like, it's pretty big, so like maybe cut down on the size of how big it is, just to
Okay.
like put towards like lighting or whatever.
okay, I agree with the lighting part a little bit, but the fact that saying Hesville is like 15 minutes away, yes, it is a bowl, but it's a mini ramp. It has 5 pockets, and it's more or less a mini ramp. This is is this pool open right here too?
It's showing that way, but yeah,
It
may or may not end up.
yeah. The size is completely foreign to this area at all. You can't drive anywhere unless 3 hours away to get anything above 6 foot. So to have a bowl in our area that's not a 3.5 hour drive away, that is above 8 feet and is a little bit vertical, is going to be like change this area for the transition skaters, you know.
I think a lot of people, like Stancy said, will drive for that pump track, but at the same time, we'll drive for the bowl just because how deep it is, you know. So.
This is kind of going back to what you said earlier, Jeff, that no matter what you do, you can't meet everybody's expectations, you know? So.
True. And then while I'm up here, I just had a few questions. With this area right here, do you know how wide that is? Or about generally?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to guesstimate, but it's probably like between 20 and 30 feet wide.
Oh. I mean, across that way.
You mean the entire span of the park, or just this section?
I'm sorry. I mean the from transition here to transition there. How wide do you in the
Six,
bulk?
point it again.
Right here to right here, and then.
Oh,
right here.
the middle section, the
Yeah.
spoon. Again, I'm going to guesstimate probably around 6 feet wide.
Oh wow.
5
Okay.
6 foot wide.
All right. Yeah, that's all I had.
So here's something that I'm kind of like, the more I look at designs, the more I get kind of lost in them, and for me to like gauge sizes is really difficult.
Yeah.
I often, you know, the size of the bowl from your perspective looks small, but that's actually quite a large bowl.
Yeah. No, it looks massive.
Yeah, it's good. Good question.
All right, I have an idea. I know that everybody's here, and I don't know if we have to take a survey or something, but everybody's here, in my opinion, to skate. My daughter plays soccer, so I have a chair in my car all the time to sit down. Do we really need a spectators section for people to come sit? I mean, I think everybody's going to go there to skate, or if they're spectating, in my opinion, going back to the Venice Beach thing, they're going to be up against that bowl watching everybody. I don't know how much it would cost, and you know, I'm the only one person speaking here, so anybody's more than welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. But if we get rid of both spectator sections, that might free up some money for lighting.
Yeah, possibly. So the concept, the way we're presenting it, it shows the spectator areas. It also shows landscaping. That's technically not part of the budget of the skate park. So we're kind of showing those amenities just to say, hey, listen, this is what you can have. I don't want to get into too much detail because right now it's not not in stone. But if you wanted those amenities, most likely the park would be reduced in size, that kind of thing. So technically, right now they're not in there. They're not.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, looking at it, and I didn't know. Thank you.
Although it's often asked for some sort of shade. So it's just we can discuss that.
Yeah, because I think that's a great idea to have the lights there because, nobody does have that.
Sure, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. I want to mention one thing about reducing the size of the bowl, that you would have to almost take the bowl out completely, probably to offset the cost of lighting. So I'd hate to see that happen as a bowl skater.
No.
But
I don't think that would. Yeah, I think
exactly.
The majority's favor of that.
I think all the
Exactly.
skaters want to skate, so.
Again, we can look at some more creative ideas. I really would encourage as much input as possible on our design input survey. I take those back. We analyze, we read them all, and we listen to what you have to say. And if we can, possibly, we make adjustments as necessary.
Is there any way I could just, one more time, I'm sorry if I'm being...
Dude, please.
I just want to get as much as I can. More than
Okay, so what Mason said, and I agree with him. I do think that a bowl from that size will attract a lot of people. But the thing is like we have a pump track and we have a bowl, and then it's kind of like we're just shoving away the street stuff in this small little section. And I think that kind of sucks, especially if we have like two transition-oriented things. And I really do think, I'm just asking honestly, how many people are going to go use a pump track like every day out of everyone here?
Right out on the big marsh.
Okay.
You need to have something on my backyard?
Johnny, raise your hand. Pump track.
Out of the street and transition zones that the older kids are using to go deep into the bowl.
I can see how you would think that the pump track would keep kids out, but at the same time, I've went to a lot of parks. I've been like all over the world, and I was just in Arizona like maybe 2 months ago, and there was just as many kids running around the main skate park as there was on the pump track. So I honestly, I mean, I've been to a lot, and I just really haven't seen that be much of a factor of what kids are getting in the way. I mean, if you go to Hessville, that park is basically a big pump track, and there's kids all over it. So
Let's keep in mind, everybody, that this was designed based on the survey from the people. So this is what the majority of the people, am I correct, right, Jeff and Adam? Yeah, so this kind of design is, I'm thinking that the board and everybody's going to be in favor of.
okay.
It's kind of going to go that route.
Maintain, it's just a matter of.
Right.
I'm just, I would be like, kind of, I mean, I didn't see the survey as much as I wanted to, but how many people really said that they would, if they had to get rid of something, how many people did say the pump track? Because at that point, isn't having a pump track and a bowl kind of the trade? Like, do people really need both if they're willing to take away the pump track anyways? And I'm all for the bowl because it really seems like everyone, that was the highest thing, right? Was that people wanted the bowl?
Are you a skater?
Am I a skater?
Yeah.
That's Billy, he's the best around in this area.
So, but
Try my best.
you got to keep in mind for the BMX too. The BMX people like the pump tracks.
Yeah, the
So-
BMX people like the pump tracks, but at the same time, I mean, people can pump around the skate park the same way that they'd pump around a pump track.
In designing this park, we wanted to design it so it's different and unique to the area.
Right.
So
Yeah, but different and unique doesn't always mean better.
Okay,
Just
but
respectfully. Because I always see people like, oh, well, we can put this in here to make this way better, and we can put this in here to make, because no one else has this, but that isn't always the case. I go to skate parks, and I go far for skate parks that might just have a Legend of Rail, and I know that's just me and my style of skating, but I like to think I skate everything, and I can still have fun at a park that only has a flat rail and a flat ledge that every single skate park has. But where does it say? So pump track. So 65 people said that they would. That's one of the highest ones up here. They said that they would eliminate that, and we also have a big bowl, which was one of the highest. So I just feel like it doesn't make sense to me to have two things that are going to take up a massive amount of space when we could be putting in smaller stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, based on a survey, I think that what we kind of are getting away from is we don't want to take anything out of it, we just want to add. I would say keep it the way it is and
Right.
somehow, some way feel, to get the lighting in there, because
And
that
if you
would
look
be a
at the
big thing.
top chart, that was the third highest, most desired thing. So it was the pump track. So, like I said, Jeff even said it. You're not going to make everybody happy, and I'm sure there's not one person, especially a kid in this room, who would be upset with anything in that park. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing to have. So, you don't
Gotta
like
light
it,
it up.
stay off the pump track.
I don't feel like, I'm just speaking personally. I just feel like people are asking for stuff that they think is going to be super fun that they don't really understand is like just going to be used once or twice every day and then that's it. But yeah, go ahead. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but what I just kind of spoke with Adam about is some of the people that are here, if you want to leave your email address on your survey, let's get a Zoom call together. Let's really hash out some of these details. And you know, if you're really passionate about this project, let's all talk and have that little bit longer conversation. So that way we can get into the nuts and bolts of some of these things that everyone's really passionate about. So if you don't mind leaving your email address on your survey, we'll hook up, do a Zoom call. We'll try to send everybody an invite, see who can make what day, what time. And yeah, let's get together and try to really hammer some of this stuff out.
No.
No, this is just for the skate park public workshop. That's all this is at the moment. We'll have public comment when we're through with this.
Okay, yeah. All right. My name's Josh Keith. I'm a third generation St. John resident and ridden my bike. I've been a bike guy, been a two-wheel guy my whole life, and wasn't blessed with being super balanced like a lot of you skaters are, but I have a lot of respect for you guys. And I was able to spend 4 years of my life in California, and it's actually where I met my wife, and we moved back here in 2018, and I actually bought the house that the lady used to yell at me for walking through her grass or riding my bike through it. I bought her house, and I fixed it up, and now I live right behind the VFW, so it's my stomping grounds, and I love it here, and I never had anywhere to ride my bike around here. I always got yelled at, and I almost got this is maybe a topic for another day, but always got almost hit by cars because we have no sidewalks here. So the possibility of having a skate park here is awesome. And also, one thing I'd like to say is I lived by some of the best pro skaters and mountain bike riders in the whole world. I lived like a stone's throw from Nigel Houston's house. I lived right by Brian Lopes, a professional downhill mountain bike rider. And these guys didn't ride in their hometown. They didn't ride in Laguna because they didn't have anything fun. They went out to Temecula. They went out to San Diego to ride the pump tracks, and not just to say like, oh, we got to do a pump track, but I think there could be some design changes there. You could possibly change it into an intestinal shape so that you can fit more of a pump track in a smaller amount of space. I think that's, if you look at the success of Temecula, California, and you look at the success of San Diego, California, just type it in on YouTube and go see where people congregate. Go see the spectator spots. Go see where people ride. Go see the transitions. It's awesome. Like opening day, they had like hundreds of people show up to these places, and they're awesome. And I like to think of the U.S. as kind of like a loading bar as far as like style and fun and sports from California. It seems like a lot of things originate out of there. That's where my dad started skating when he was young. He's a skater. Now he's kind of transitioned to bike riding, but yeah, it's like a big loading bar. It's like California is doing these awesome things. They're having these successful parks, and we get it like 5-10 years later, or not even. And I didn't ride my first pump track until I went out to California, and that's like the most fun I've ever had in my life, and I would ride it every single day. So I'd like to kind of stick up for that. My cousins in Nebraska have done exactly what Jeff and Drift would have done. They've raised money and built their own park in Kearney, Nebraska, and those are my two blood cousins and relatives. So I think this is awesome. I'm really happy with what you guys are doing. I think there's room for improvement, and I also think you can't please everybody, but like the possibility of having a pump track and an awesome like bowl or just skate park in general that's quality in St. John is huge, and will attract a lot of people. So instead of people driving out, I drive to Valpo to go ride my bike. It's like I want to stay here. I want to spend my money in St. John. It's like I think a lot of people would love that. And my dad couldn't be here today. He told me to tell him, whatever you guys do it big and do it well and do it quality, because so many times, and we see it in other towns, they do these crappy parks, or they build just to check the box, just to put in a skate park or just to put in a whatever park. It's like, do it well this time. I'd love to see St. John have like a really awesome park that attracts a lot of people, and will bring people in to even like have lunch and hang out like in our town. So this is so much bigger than just a skate park. It's these guys' childhood and having a lot of fun in life. So anyway, I have a lot more to say, but I don't want to keep you guys here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Gabe with the Town of St. John. Just to piggyback off you, Jason, if you can pull up the picture of the park, please. So, speaking to the residents at home, this is one big complex. There's soccer fields there. This would be the entrance right here, which is the parking lot. Our future plan is more than just this skate park. We want to make a big complex for all walks of life. Our big goal is to probably finish the bike trail that is there. The bike trail that's currently there goes off this way and around all the way to the other side of like 3 or 4 soccer fields. So we'd like to finish that and take it all the way around, which would almost be pretty close to this side right here. And somewhere in there, which we don't even know yet, we'd like to throw in some kind of playground for the kids. So this would be like the opposite end of the town from our other big complex, which is baseball fields, like volleyball, softball fields, and the ice arena, which we've all been there, correct? So we want something for the people of the east side of the town to do. So again, we want to go big. We want something for everyone to say, I can go there. I don't play baseball, but hey, I play soccer. I skate. I jog. I ride my bike. I want to play at a nice playground on this side of town. I don't want to have my parents take me to the other side of town, to Prairie West Park, when I can just stay here at like a nice park. So just for the people that are watching online, just know that it's not just going to be just this. We have a bigger goal in mind, and we want to make it more complete for our residents as a whole to enjoy what's going on in their town.
Thank you. So there's a few little guys right here that I want to kind of ask and get your opinions on. You guys want to pass the mic and give us some input? Put you on the spot? Put you on the spot? No? How about a one-word answer? Okay.
Well, I like the idea of changing that one.
Okay. Good input. How about you? You got anything? Okay. We'll get into more detail in a little bit once we kind of go through some of the surveys and things like that. Definitely good input, and everything has been heard. We can kind of wrap this portion up if you'd like, and maybe open it up to more of an informal, off the microphone discussion, if that's okay, or maybe just fill out some.
Thank you for that, Adam. If everybody feels like they've had their comment for the skate park workshop, we could move on to public comment, but I would just like to add that as the park board, how awesome is it that we're talking about a skate park in the town of St. John? I mean, I think that's great. And I'd just like to piggyback off of what Gabe said. Everybody that had input was phenomenal. Billy, the skater, I mean, you know, you got to have a guy like him talking. And then gentleman with the two wheels. I got one question for you. The home you bought, how's the grass? Because you said you rode through her grass all the time.
Oh, yeah, it's great now.
Okay, just had to check on that. I just wanted to make sure. But, you know, there's such a good vibe here from everyone, and we are a community. And again, like I said, a lot of positive feedback in this workshop. And again, I want to piggyback off what Gabe said. As a park board, our goal is to meet the needs of as many residents as we can. Hopefully, we could accommodate all the positive things that you have brought up. But just the fact that we're going to have a skate park, I mean, it's a beginning, and it's something that we've never had before. And with that, our goal is to expand and move forward. So without any other comment, which you have all taken your time this evening, believe me, I know that everyone's time is precious, and I appreciate everybody that took the time and effort to come out to this workshop. Thank you, Jeff, for the surveys and the input that you took your time to get. Adam, the concept, I'm going to be honest here. You look at me, and I know you think I'm probably a great skater. Not true. I don't skate. I just, but, you know, I can relate to, like, traveling and that. I'm a golfer, so, yeah. Hey, there's a good golf course. You want to check it out. And to put St. John on the map and that venue, I think is phenomenal. We do like the rendering. I think the gentlemen here have more expertise than me. This is our great skater here, you know, Johnny.
In-house skater.
Well,
Yes.
they call me 12-foot Johnny because I'm so good at them 12-foot ramps. So.
Vert Johnny.
The vert Johnny, there you go, 12-foot vert.
So on opening day, you can challenge these kids to a throwdown and see
there's no
who
throwing
wins.
down.
And what I'll be the guy with the video camera, so you could put it on YouTube. Hey, check this out. No, I'm just kidding. And then you young folks right here, thank you for spending
Yes.
part of your evening.
And I can promise you guys one thing. When I first started this whole journey on getting a skate park, it was my first thing I wanted to do when I became a park board member. I can promise you that the design of this that goes in, you guys, one of your concerns was lighting. It's going to happen, okay? I mean, we won't stop with it. I mean, I know I won't. I think that's something like a couple of you said, I can't remember your names, but holy cow, did you guys see the park at St. John? They got a bowl, they got a pump track, and they got some lighting. So that's what we want. I know I want it. So, we definitely want to be unique. And I even think this design for itself alone is unique. But I can promise you I won't stop with it. But so you can't have everything at once. So baby steps, but I think it's great. From Spawn Ranch, I think you guys did a great job at that design. So
I do too.
as an expert vert ramp guy, I could say it's pretty nice. So
Thank you.
Any comments, Patrick?
No, sir, I'm good, thank you.
And again, a little bit of effort that's gone in, and appreciate the support from Wayne Pondinas, one of our town councilmen, and Beth Hernandez and Gabe, and all the work that's gone in by Nicole and Tyler. I appreciate that very much. Without further ado, I think that we'll have an opportunity if you kind of want to just chat afterwards, but we would like to open it up for public comment. Aside from the workshop, any residents, anybody here that would like to make a comment or that has anything to say, I know that it's been advertised, it's been put out there that we were having this special meeting. So if anybody has a comment, if you can come forward at this time. Okay, and if not, anything else?
Fine.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I just wanted one last opportunity to thank all of you. I mean, I think you can tell that this skate park means a lot to a lot of people. And, I think a lot of people really shared some real personal stories, some real kind of, I think you can feel the emotion that all of us have behind skate parks. So
I enjoyed all that conflicting.
Awesome.
I don't think it really is great to see that. I mean,
It's awesome.
these guys are passionate.
Yeah.
We're all passionate about it, and it's an opportunity that a lot of us grew up without, and to see it happening, I mean, it excites all of us. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate everything that you've done, and on behalf of, kind of all the skateboarders in the region, we can't thank you guys enough.
You're welcome.
I just got one question for the crowd. Does anybody have anything to say against the park? Or skating? Anything? That just shows you how passionate everybody that came out tonight really wants this skate park. So again, piggyback off what Johnny said, I believe that we need, for the residents, we need to do it correctly. The first time we go out and do it and add on and whatever we got to do. And like, I don't know, the gentleman that came up there and said, I mean, sometimes it gets dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, I mean, you don't want anybody getting hurt out there. I mean, we all get hurt when we're doing stuff, but due to the fact that we don't have any lighting or whatnot, we don't want anybody getting hurt. So I think we should do it big and do it right.
Yep.
And guys, don't forget there's headlights on cars. No, I just.
I have one last comment is, I don't know what the plan is for lights. Obviously, it's up in the air right now, but if, there's an option always for solar stuff. I work at a solar company. We have a solar product that we invented over 20 years ago, and we work in the solar industry. So if there's ever a possibility for putting solar like on top of the lamp posts or whatever you guys decide to do, that's a way of saving money too.
It's funny that you should bring that up because I missed the last 2 meetings because for my union, I'm taking classes on solar.
Yeah,
I was going to bring that up, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, and now
that was a great shameless plug, by the way.
I didn't say any names, but now I mean,
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, well, let's take advantage of like this new administration. They're pushing this Green New Deal. If there's incentives for solar, why not do it? Because you pay for the upfront cost of the light, but then it's free, and with LEDs, that uses so much less electricity. You can change the color of them. You can do more daylight. You can do brighter. Whatever you decide to do, I think there's endless possibilities where we can do like new school stuff. It's like this is the new generation of people in this town. It's like let's hop on the train of technology and
Correct.
let's do it right. So
it's all green too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Like to consider adjournment of the special St. John Parks Board meeting for the skate park and the other items on there.
I'm good. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
It's a motion by John Boersma, second by Pat Connolly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
And with that, I think, you know, Adam and Jeff, if you guys want to get emails and that, you're welcome to do that.
Thank you very